So rocking side to side, getting your lower back all loosened up. Feeling good because it's Friday. Fridays are always happy feeling days. You're like, oh, heck yeah, it's Friday. That's what I think, right? Doesn't matter if you're retired or not. You still think Fridays are good days. So as you're rocking side to side, if you want, if your hips are tight, you can even have your knees a little bit wider, right? To help open up your hips, whatever feels good to you. And then we're gonna hug our right knee to our chest, left leg will be out straight, and you're gonna go side to side there. So taking your time, nice and easy. If you wanna have one foot down on the ground for your back, you can, or your hips, whatever feels good, because you're warming up. So you don't have to do anything too wild, right? Nah, we'll save the wild for about, 10 minutes in. So we're gonna go about one more each side, then we're gonna have nice straight legs. So you're gonna have one leg up straight, doesn't matter which one. You'll grab behind your hamstring, and we're gonna alternate here. So nice and controlled, right? I shouldn't lose my internet today, but if I do, I promise I'll come back. The internet's been kind of weird today, or this week, I can't talk. One of those. Seems like it tries to cut out in every single one of my classes this week. So it's just one of those weeks. Technology's just showing you who's boss. So we're gonna go one more to each leg. And then you're gonna relax your legs down. And we're gonna get ready for some core bracing here already, right? Nobody wants to do bridges today. So we're gonna start with dead bugs, but we're gonna start with kind of the easier version. So as you're lying here, make sure that you push your lower back down into the mat. As you do that, you'll kind of feel your hips roll up, that's okay. Arms are up straight, you're just gonna go side to side, going opposites. So this shouldn't feel crazy hard. The hardest part of it is just paying attention to your core and making sure that you're able to keep your lower back down, right? So you've always got one foot down on the ground, so it should feel kind of friendly. Yeah, I think so. I think it feels good, so if I think it feels good, you have to too, that's the rule, right? So really focus in on your core more than your arms and legs. They're moving, but I don't really care about your arms and legs as much as I care about your core, okay? So you have the option, you can stay right here in this position, or if you want to make it a little bit harder, you're going to bring your legs into tabletop, and you'll just alternate, you'll kick out and then come back in, right? So this is a little bit harder to pay attention to that lower back and make sure it stays down. If you don't feel like you want to do this one, you can always have one foot down on the floor, right? But nice and easy, you're going side to side, you're trying to stretch out your arms and legs, right? It's kind of like what we were just doing when we hug our knees to our chest, but you're adding your arms. So again, if you feel like this is enough of a challenge and you want to stay right here, you can. If you want to step up a notch with me, you're going to have both arms and legs up straight, and then you would do a straight, right, dead bug, right? So here you are. So whenever your arms and legs are straight and you do core work, this is the hardest to core brace. So if you feel like your back is arching, you don't want to do this move, or if you have back pain, you'd want to go down to the next level, right? So don't feel like you have to have straight arms and straight legs. Just because I do doesn't mean you have to, right? So we're going to go one more to each side, and then you're going to relax those legs on down. Oh, yeah, that feels good. Okay, so now we're going to bring our hands behind our head, and you want to keep your elbows wide. So make sure that your head is resting into those hands. You're going to exhale, lift into that crunch, push that back down, nice and easy coming back. So you want to make sure that you keep those elbows wide so you can think about your posture, right? And it's going to help you not pull on your head and neck as much also. Right, because nobody wants to be like, hey, look, you can pull on your head really well. No, you don't want to do that, right? So every time you lift into that crunch, right, you want to push your back down even more and tense up those abs, right? So when I crunch up, I can feel my abs shake. See if you can make your abs shake, right? I'm not above it. I know my abs will shake no matter what I do. So we got about 15 seconds, and then we're going to hold this crunch and add a little bit of excitement to it. So taking your time doesn't have to be fast, right? We're more focused on what our core feels like than going fast. So on your next motion, if you can, you're going to crunch up, you're going to hold, and you're just going to alternate. You'll march one leg toward you and then the other. So your goal with this crunch is to help you push that back down, right? And if you're using your core correctly, you shouldn't feel it in your neck, right? But if you're really tight and tense, you might have to have your head down and keep your back down. That's okay too, right? So if the crunch hurts your neck, don't hold it. Pretty simple. What? I know. There's always a solution here. So you got 15 seconds, and then we're going to go to our sides here. So nice and controlled. Really, really, really squeeze the core. Push that back down. My abs are burning. I hope yours are too, right? Because if your abs aren't burning during warm up, what's the point? So you got one more to each leg. Then you're going to relax your head down, and you're going to go to your side. So whatever side you want, really doesn't matter. Right, and you're just going to start with your top leg is going to be in front. We're going to kick up and over. So you're going to kick up and over your other leg, right? So as you're kicking up and over, you've got to be aware of your core, because if it's not, you're going to look like you're on a boat and you're rocking side to side. Don't rock side to side, right? Nobody wants you to rock side to side. I don't want you to. So we got about 15 seconds. And then we're going to go into our next leg move. Yeah, doesn't this just feel good? So you're trying to kick your leg up as high as you can, right? You're making a mountain peak, right? As high as you can. Try to kick your leg out of the screen. See, my leg goes out of the screen, boom. It's because my legs are long, right? You get so tall, soon enough you barely have to kick. So you're going to go one more up and over. And then you're going to relax your leg down. And we're going to do our other side, just like that, right? Not much time on those hips, just enough to get them awake here. So once you're in place, that top leg starts up front, go ahead, you can start kicking up and over. Try to keep that leg as straight as you can, and you're pointing your toe. Right, and it's just a good up and over motion here today. Right, we got all kinds of fun stuff for today. Fun, fun, fun. Right, so we got about 20 seconds, and then we're gonna go to our next warm-up move. Right, who needs warm-up when you're doing core? We could have just gone cold turkey core. But I don't want to do that because I think that would hurt. You know, I don't want to hurt. I like to burn, but I just keep on talking. So I'll fill the air up with my voice here. So we're going to go one more up and over. So there's an up and over. You're going to relax. And we're going to go to our hands and our knees here. So we're going to warm up with a few bird dogs here. So you're going to go on opposite arm, opposite leg. You'll extend out. It'll come down. And you're going to go to the other side. Right, so we're trying to stretch out our back, stretch out our arms and legs, right, and just feel nice and strong. So again, you don't have to go fast. If you feel like you're falling over or feel unbalanced, make sure that you're doing opposites, right, because if you do the same side, you'll tip over. So just taking your time, switching side to side, try not to let your head hang down, right? You wouldn't think it. No, never, we wouldn't. So we got about 15 seconds. And then we're going to go to our next move. Right? So you're going to go one more to each arm and leg. Right? And then you're going to have your right leg out straight. You're going to have your toes on the floor. You're just going to bring your leg wide and tap, back and tap, right? Wide and tap, back and tap. So you don't have to bring your leg way, way wide, even if it's a small motion. That's okay, right? We're trying to get our full body warmed up here, so it doesn't have to be a crazy range of motion, okay? We have 10 seconds, and then we're gonna do our other leg, okay? So we'll do 3 more. There's 1, coming back, 2, coming back, 3, coming back. So now we got our left leg, right? So your left leg's out straight, toes are on the ground, you're just gonna tap and tap. So remember, it does not have to be a large motion, I promise. Right? You'll still get warmed up even if it's small. So you should feel your opposite glute firing up as you do this too, right? So make sure that head's not hanging down, right? We got 3 more. Here's 1, coming back, 2, coming back, 3, coming back. You're gonna relax. And we're gonna get started. Yay! So what we're gonna do, there's gonna be 4 different moves, and we got 3 sets. So every time we do a new set, it gets more challenging with those moves. So our first move here is going to be kind of like a plank, but it's a good plank, right? They're all good planks. So you're going to be on your elbows. You're going to start with your knees on the ground. Your toes are down. You're just going to lift up. You're going to step out. You'll come in, put your knee down, come in, put your knee down. So you're coming down in between every single one, okay? Ready? And go. So you'll come up with those knees. You'll step out as far as you can. You'll step out. You'll come in, bring those knees down. So you come down between every single rep. So you're stepping out, stepping out, stepping stepping in, bring those knees down. So take your time on this. We're really focusing on our range of motion and body control. So this is a good plank because in a typical plank, you don't get to take a break in between this motion, right? So take your time, right? Focusing on stepping out as much as you can, using those glutes, not letting your head hang down. And the nice thing is you can take a break whenever you feel like you need a break, right? So we're doing everything timed today. That means you can take breathers when you need to, right? And you can just jump back in when you're ready, right? So this isn't too awful. Matter of fact, I think it feels kind of good, right? We can make it a lot more mean if you want to. No, we won't do that. Okay, we got 15 seconds, right? And then we're going to move on to our next move, right? So that might scare you to know that you've got 3 more different kinds of planks to do today. So you're going to do one more out and in. So we're coming up, you're going out, you're coming in, and you're going to relax. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to go on your back. The rest of these motions will be done on our back. So your first one is going to be roll-ups. So you have your legs out straight, you're going to use your arms, roll up nice and tall, and then come back. So if you feel like it's hard for you to roll up, if you have any kind of object with you at home, you can act like you're going to throw it forward and come back and it'll help you, right? And then at any point, if you feel like you need to do just a crunch instead, of course you can, right? So take your time with this. Every time you come up, you want to try to sit up as tall as you can and slowly come down, right? Don't let your body smack down into the mat. You might knock the wind out of yourself. I don't know, right? So remember, each of these moves is kind of a basic move, and the next 2 rounds we make them more fun. So if you're thinking like, come on, Mary, what else you got? You just hold on to that, right? So we got 30 seconds here. And then we go to our next move. Yes! Right, everybody loves a good roll-up. Roll-ups are hard to do, so if you're doing them, even if you just did one, you should pat yourself on the back because this is hard stuff, right? You might not think it is, but trust me, it is. I watch people work out all day, and this is not an easy move, okay? You got 2 more. Here's 1. 1 more. Here's 2. Okay, you're going to relax back to your mat. So now we're going to keep our head down, and we're going to do a core bracing move here, right? So we've done this move before during warm-ups. You want to keep your legs in tabletop. You're pulling in that belly button. Lower back is down. You're going to inhale in. Exhale, kick those legs up straight. Point your toes. Squeeze. You want to hold for about a second. Slowly come back, right? So every time those legs kick up, right, you almost want your legs to shake because you're trying to stretch and lengthen them as much as possible. Okay, so when your legs are up straight in the air, it requires a lot of lower ab control, right? And that's usually kind of an ignored area. So really focus on what you need to do. If your back is arching, put a foot down, right? Focus on one leg, okay? So this is gonna work more than just your abs, right? It's working those legs, right? And this is kind of our foundation for the next 2 sets. So really focus on stretching those legs and trying to get them as straight as possible, right? And you can even have your hands on your core, just so you know that your core is staying tight, right? I like to do that just so I know those muscles are still there, right? And yes, you got a core, okay? But it's just nice and controlled, nothing too wild, right? Feels pretty good. I know it does. I think it does. I love core bracing. I could do core bracing in my sleep, I think, you know, right? Wake up holding tabletop, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, my abs are sore because I was doing tabletop all night. Okay, we got about 15 seconds. Taking your time, stretching out, right? We got 1 more move until we start our new set. So let's do 2 more. Here is 1, right? And here is 2. Then bring those legs on down. Okay, so now you're going to have your hands behind your head. You're going to do an alternating crunch tap. So chops. You're going to crunch. You'll reach across with your opposite hand to that opposite knee. You'll come back, crunch and chop. So if you can, you want to try to stay up on your shoulder blades, right? And just let your hands support you. And you're going nice and slow and controlled. You're kind of chopping across with that arm. And you're trying to see if you can get your fingertips past your knee, right? So you're staying up. You're controlled. You're going side to side. You're just kind of karate chopping. Hi-ya. chops, right? And if you can stay on those shoulder blades, it just makes that lower back stay down a little bit easier. But of course, it does make the move harder, right? But why not make it harder, you know? It's Friday. You've got plenty of days to recover, right? And then you can be like, oh my gosh, I love doing core work. I'm going to do every single one of Mary's core workouts on Saturday, tomorrow. Do it. You could do it, right? I bet you could. So on side to side, you're trying to really stretch that arm, right? We're going for big ranges of motion. We're really trying to stretch out those arms and use our core, right? And it's not a fast chop, right? You're not going to get cardio out of this, so why would you go fast, right? My watch doesn't go faster when you go fast. My watch actually slows down. It can detect when people are going fast, and it's like, oh, slow down. So we got 10 seconds. And then we're done with our first round of the day. Isn't that awesome? Sure is. So you're going to go one more to each side. Here's one. Here's two. You're going to relax. All right. So now we're getting ready for our big bad plank number 2. So on this, what you're going to do, it's going to be a clapping arm. So if you're modifying, you're going to be on your knees. Drop those hips down. Your left arm would come wide and back. If you needed a little extra support, you could have your right toe out and come wide and back, right? So here's your modifier. So don't start yet. If you're not modifying, you've got both toes out. I would go with a wider stance, and you'll come wide and back. Okay, so I'm going to start in the modified position, then I'll show you how to progress it. Okay, so you can start on your knees. Your left arm's coming wide and back, right? Sometimes it helps you balance if you just have that right leg out straight with the toes on the floor. And this is still plenty challenging. Right? If you feel like you're ready to step it up a notch, you want to go on both toes, that's fine. Just have those legs wider than usual for a better base of support and come wide and back. Okay, you're doing a great job. I know this isn't a fun one, but it kind of is. Okay, 10 seconds. Nice and controlled. Try not to let your body turn and twist. You have 2 more. Here's 1, coming back. Here's 2, and relax. Okay, so now we got to do our right arm. Okay. So again, if you're modifying, start on those knees, put that left leg out if you want. Your right arm's coming wide and back, right? So you're still holding a plank. It's still just as challenging, even if you're modifying, right? And then if you want to go up on both feet, go ahead, you can, right? Coming wide and back. Nice and controlled. Make sure you're breathing. You have 10 seconds, right? You can do it, right? You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna relax, right? Good job, plank is done. You only have 1 more plank after that. So now we're back on our back. We're going back to that roll up. So this time with your roll up, you're gonna roll up, bring one leg up, you'll grab the leg, you'll come down. Roll up, other leg, and back. Ready? And go. Right, so you wanna try to roll up before you bring your leg up. If you bring your leg up before you get up to the top, guess what? You might not get up to that leg, okay? If you feel like you don't want to add in the leg and you want to stick to the regular roll up, you of course can, right? Do what you feel like you need to do. And even if you're modifying, you could do a crunch with a leg kick. So there's a lot of ways that you can make this move more challenging. But you want to try to roll up first and then add that leg, right? If you start kicking your leg before you're up, that's a whole new exercise and it's not going to be fun, okay? You got 30 seconds here. Just nice and controlled. Of course it's controlled, right? Those abs might be burning, mine are. So this one is another one. It's gonna work those legs too, right? Remember, if roll-ups are starting to feel hard, right, you can use an object to help you throw, and that'll help you sit up, okay? You feel like you need to modify and do a crunching position, that's fine too. You can crunch through the motions, okay? You just don't have to come all the way up, right? You got about 10 seconds here. You gotta kiss your toes though, right? Didn't you see I just kissed my foot? No, I didn't. 1 more, and we're gonna relax. Okay, so now we're doing our core bracing move again. So this time, instead of your legs in tabletop, we're gonna have those legs up straight. So once those legs are up straight, pull those stomach muscles in tight, okay? Your arms are gonna be straight and we're doing a small motion. So exhale, you're gonna let your arms and legs come down a little bit. Inhale back in. Okay, so I want you to do small because I want you focusing on your core, right? If you're doing a large move, it's a lot harder, okay? So it doesn't have to feel like a huge move. If you really feel like your back doesn't like this, that's fine. Just put one foot down and still focus on your core. If your core bracing on this, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it's gonna be tough. Okay, so small motions, that way you're focusing in on that core. Your quads might be burning, your hip flexors might be burning, that's okay, right? And remember, you can always have one foot down, okay? Small controlled motions, we've got 30 seconds, right? If you feel like you can go a little bit larger and stick to it, you could, but take your time with it, right? Don't feel like you have to do anything crazy. Make sure your back is to that mat the whole time. Okay, got 15 seconds. Right, and we're just moving right along today, you know? 10 seconds, nice and controlled. Make sure it's your core that's doing the work, right? You got 2 more, here's 1, 2, relax those legs down. So now, instead of our crunch trap, you're gonna do a pulse. So you're gonna have your left hand behind your head, you're in a crunch. You're gonna crunch over so your right arm is extended, and you're gonna pulse. So you're doing a mini crunch where you're basically just going up, up, and up, right? So you're basically contracting those core muscles the whole time. You're trying to see if you can get your fingertips past your knee every time, and your right shoulder blade should not be touching the floor, right? Your left shoulder blade is, your right shoulder is off. So you're really trying to reach and lift and lift and lift. So small, tiny motions, right? It's not even that big. If it's burning like crazy, that's how you know you're doing it right, right? So you're reaching, 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 never stop reaching, right? That's what you're hoping on to. You're doing a great job. Keep on reaching across. We have 10 seconds until we switch sides. So keep on reaching, 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 right? You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand comes behind, left hand reaches, and we're reaching, right? So you're doing that mini crunch. Right shoulder blade is on the floor, left shoulder is completely off the floor. You're trying to crunch and reach your left hand past your right knee every single time, right? If it doesn't go past your knee, you better crunch harder, come on. But I do have long arms, so I don't know. To me, it seems pretty realistic. But to you, you might be rolling your eyes at me like, there's no way, she's nuts. I could be, that's okay. Okay, you're doing a great job. We got 15 seconds. Hang with it, breathe with it. After this, we only have 1 more set of exercises, right? You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Oh boy. And we got our fun plank here. Okay, so we are going to do a spider climb plank. So on this, it's going to be really good for those hip flexors. I'm going to show you the 2 options of how you can do this. So option number 1 is a little bit more modified. You would have your knees back, and you can either step your leg forward to the same side and come back, right? Or you could do an alternating kick wide and there, right? So that's how you modify. Option number 2, you're on those toes. You're trying to step that same foot up to that same hand, coming back into the other side. Okay, so I got 30 seconds like that. We ready? Of course we are. Go for it. So you're trying to go same foot, same hand if you're not modifying, right? You're going side to side, trying to stay nice and low, right? If you were modifying, you can have those knees down. You can either step or you can tap side to side and still get that same range of motion. Same muscles are working together, okay? You have 15 seconds, and then we're all done with planks for the day. 10 seconds, hang with it. Take breaks if you need to, right? I know planks aren't the easiest, but that's okay. You got 1 more to each side. There's 1, here's 2. You can relax, and now you're on your back the rest of the time. 3 exercises left, okay? So this time with your roll-ups, you're gonna roll up. Then if you can, both legs will come up. Both legs slowly come down. You come down. If both feels like too much, you could either do the singles like before or just a standard roll-up, okay? Ready? And go. So you would roll up. See if you can have both legs come up. They would slowly come down. You would come down, right? So roll up, come back. If you want to stick to what we did last time, which is 1 leg, that's fine. right? Do what you need to do. You can even just do a regular roll up, right? Or you can even do a crunch and just focus on core bracing. So do whatever you need to do to work that core and protect that back, right? So when those legs come down, they're gonna wanna slam. You gotta control those legs coming down. That's the hard part, right? And if you wanna make it harder, as you roll up, you would bring your legs up and then come back, right? But you don't have to. You can roll up first and then add those legs. Okay, so taking your time, right? Last time we did roll ups today, isn't that sad? I'm done. We got 15 seconds, and then you have 2 moves left of your day. You can handle that. Okay, let's do 2 more. Here's one, coming down. Here's 2, there's 2, coming down and relaxing. So our next one here, you're gonna be in our core bracing move. So our arms and legs are gonna be up. This time you're gonna come wide and back, right? So you're really focusing on your core. You don't have to go as wide as possible, right? Just about like hip width, shoulder width apart and back. And you're trying to keep those legs as straight as possible, right? So you've got to point those toes, right? And you want to make sure that your core is in control. So your lower back should be down this whole time. Okay, so we're going to add to this in just a second because this one's a little bit easier than last time, right? I think so. So go ahead and do 2 more. So now what you're going to do, you're going to alternate between. So you're going to come do that small up and down motion, wide, right? Up and down, wide. So you're combining that last move with the move we just did here. So remember, smaller motions are easier to control, right? On this, if your legs are nice and straight, your quads are probably burning. That's okay, right? Point those toes, focus on your core. If you feel like you can go larger range of motions, for sure, go for it. I don't care, right? Whatever you feel like you can maintain and stick to for the next 30 seconds, right? So if you go bigger motions, it's a lot harder, but don't just go big because you want to. Pay attention to if your back is arching or if you have back pain. So we don't want our back to arch. We want our core to be as tight as possible, and you want to push that back down. Okay, you got 10 seconds, and then we got our final move of the day. Right, so we're going to go 1 more each way. Here's one, and relax. The last move we have is called swivels, right? Doesn't that sound fun? It will be. So what you're going to do, you've got legs in tabletop. You're going to lift up into a crunch as high as you can if you can, and you're moving your hips side to side and tapping your legs into your hands, right? So imagine you're in a chair, you're swiveling. If that hurts your neck, keep your head down, do the same motion, okay? So legs are in tabletop, you're lifted up, you're tapping your calves side to side on your legs. Ready? And go, right? So you're going side to side as quickly as you can. You're using your hips and obliques to do this motion. If your neck hurts, keep that head down and go there, right? But arms aren't moving, it's all in those legs, right? It's kind of like a ping pong ball. It's going side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side, right? So keep on grooving, keep on moving, right? If your head hurts, put it down. And look here, you're still doing the same thing, right? So keep on moving. See if you can go a little bit quicker. Try not to let those heels fall down. Stay lifted into that crunch, right? And we're not going for 30 seconds, I lied. Right, got 15 seconds. Keep moving. Fast, fast, fast. You're going tap, 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 tap. Right, that's your speed. 10 seconds. Right, head can go down if you need it. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. There you go. Boom. Core done so quickly.